think a big problem today with the youth in terms of why so many people are down in the dumps and depressed is because the whole mantra, especially in America and the West in general, is me, 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 and it's me-centric, and it's fulfillment of a person's personal desires or whatever it may be, and it's very shallow. And I find that when you expand your neshama and you think for others, to benefit others, it becomes very, very satisfying. To be able to put a smile on somebody is a very, very powerful, natural high.
Baruchim Abayim, and welcome to Torah Talks Chazaq's Tuesday night program with special guests. Tonight we have with us a very special guest, a very dear friend of Chazaq, Isaac Yitzchak Abraham. How are you?
Baruch Hashem,
Baruch
thank
Hashem,
God.
Hashem. Thank you very much for agreeing to be on this. I know it wasn't easy for you to come and agree to this, but it means a lot to us. As a chairman of the board, you have to sometimes jump into things, and that's what we're going to be talking about, a little bit about responsibility, taking things upon ourselves. But before we do that, Yitzchak, Isaac, if you could give us a little background about yourself, the great work you're involved with.
Okay. I'm 40 years old, married, happily, thank God. 3 kids. They're all 5 years apart. I didn't plan it.
Wow.
So I have 3 different stages at home. I have a teenager, a adolescent, and a toddler. I'm involved with the organization, with Chazaq, my entire married life.
Wow.
So the last 15 years
15 out of 18 years, Chazaq. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm an attorney by trade. I'm a Baal Teshuvah. Grew up in Queens. Currently live in the 5 towns.
Baruch Hashem, amazing. And I know Isaac for many years, and I know how much you care for the klal and for the community. And maybe you could tell us about getting involved and taking on achariyut, responsibility. You jumped on the bandwagon and you've literally taken things to the next level. You got others to get involved. What do you encourage? What do you say?
I mean, early on, Pirkei Avot says when there are no leaders, you have to get up. And I saw that there was a certain void that needed to be filled. So I decided to get involved. I come from a family of activists. My uncle Meir Chai was the youngest member of the Vad in the first Bukharian shul we had we call it 71st, but it's the Bukharian Jewish Community Center, I guess, of Forest Hills. And this is going back, decades and decades ago. My grandma, my father's mother, was very involved with the ladies' division. Everybody in the community knows her as Fatima, but her real name is Panir. And my mother has always been a community activist. I remember during the Intifada in the 2000s, my mom put together she sent an entire orchestra from the United States to Israel to give a concert for victims of terror. So I kind of grew up with it. We had these type of conversations at home, and how to make the community a better place. I'm a Beit Avril boy. My part of my return started in Beit Avril, and the whole essence of Beit Avril is don't just enjoy this Kool-Aid and keep it to yourself, but go out there and
bring others.
So that's my makeup, my DNA.
Yeah, unbelievable. And actually see your family very, very much involved, whether it's the cousins and the distant relatives. Everyone is Baruch Hashem involved, doing great things. And what are the benefits, would you say, of being involved with the community? I know the headaches, but if we could look at the positive side of being in the community, being involved in the community.
Well, first of all, it makes you a better person.
I mean, true, 100%.
Because I think a big problem today with the youth in terms of why so many people are down in the dumps and depressed is because the whole mantra, especially in America and the West in general, is me, me, me. And it's me-centric, and it's fulfillment of a person's personal desires or whatever it may be. and it's very shallow. And I find that when you expand your neshama and you think for others to benefit others, it becomes very, very satisfying.
Yes, it does. 100%.
You know, to be able to put a smile on somebody is a very, very powerful natural high. And what's it called? That's one aspect. The other aspect I would say is when you're actually the one grinding, you get to put in your input. And I'm full of ideas. God gave me a lot of creativity, and I don't necessarily want to just be a bystander. I want to be a player in the game. And I find that just like in the story of Purim, Rabbi Kiva Tatz says that Haman was the ultimate anti-Semite. So Akash Baruch Hu knows how to make a shidduch, where he was going to create for us this story called Purim, and the villain that he chose was the ultimate anti-Semite because he had that ratzon more than anyone else. It goes the other way as well. A lot of times over, in my heart of hearts, I want to make serious changes, and you don't necessarily have the means to be able to put it all together, but Hashem sees your ratzon, and He knows how to make a shidduch, and He puts you together with a team of people that can make things happen. I mean, you know, it's funny. I mentioned Beit Gavriel and my beginnings, but my adult life, I've been a Chazaq guy, and it's a great zechut. I love the organization, and sometimes I feel that there was so much that needed to be done, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu, he X-rayed my ratzon, and he said, you know what, I'm going to put you together with a good bunch when it comes to the board, the staff, the family that we call Chazaq, and it's just a great honor.
100%. So you encourage others to get involved, make a difference. Don't just sit on the sidelines, but like you said, be a player.
100%. But you have to be very honest with yourself. You have to know your strengths, and you know, not everybody is meant to be a point guard or meant to be a shooting guard, and a person has to be very content with doing his part and knowing his part, being honest with themselves. For some, it would, you know, let's say the person is a B-type personality, but he's got a mind like no other. Maybe for him, it's just grab a sefer, don't waste time, sit and learn. For someone that has a koach dibur, but not necessarily to be a gutsy guy to be able to speak in front of hundreds of people like Rabbi Pesach Kron, maybe that person should, you know, find himself a chavruta and give over, be mashpia, and that's another thing I learned from reading stories of Gedolim. There, you know, by Hashem, he loves the individual and the kahal. So it's not one or the other. It's and so too by the tzaddikim or by the gedolim, they can sit in and invest their time and energy in an individual, and that could be very geshmak and very satisfying. And they could also sit and put all that time and energy into a huge project like you know, establishing a yeshiva.
Right.
So we should basically look at everything as an opportunity, and there's no opportunity too small. And that's just going back to, you know, everybody should get involved. Yes, everyone should get involved, but it should be within their talents that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave them. This way, they're maximizing.
100%. So you know, Isaac and I, God bless Isaac, we have this difference of opinion in a sense, I guess we'll say, where I like to always just do, and let's do more, and let's make this happen, let's do that. But Isaac has a beautiful quote. It's a quotable quote for Isaac. We have to tighten the bolts. If you could talk about that for a moment, touch on that point.
I mean, first of all, I should just say, Rabbi Yaniv, you know, it's definitely a very positive thing that we have you around, that you push growth. I'm not anti-growth, that's for sure. But I do believe in not just sustainability, not even from a financial aspect, but you don't want to build, and not you, Chas v'shalom, but in general, and we're not doing this. The organization, thank God, is, I would say, the total opposite. We're not building a house of cards. It has to have a very strong foundation. Now, on the flip end of it, a person can invest so much time into the foundation that he never actually puts up the facade, never puts up the building.
We've seen that many
Yeah,
times.
there are plenty of
Properties out there that are just
yeah, or organizations. They're planning, but with all the planning, Mashiach will come already.
Bezat Hashem.
But sometimes you have to pull the trigger. It should be a balance. It should be a healthy middle.
So I feel like we have that good balance where there's Shemaim, there's Aretz, we meet in the middle.
Right. So tightening the bolts is
that your quote? Or you?
I probably got it from somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely something that I try to live by. I mean, just with all the different facets of what we do here at Chazaq, for example, I love to give the example of shaping lives.
The Sunday schools.
The Sunday school program. I mean, the truth of the matter is, I personally believe we should have one in every synagogue in America.
We're getting there. Slowly.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
We're up to close to about more or less 20 locations, Baruch Hashem.
And not only that, but we're already servicing over 300 kids a Sunday.
Baruch Hashem. That's amazing.
It's and they're all public school kids, and God willing, at least 40% of them will end up in yeshiva within the next 24 months. So it's Ken Yerbu, the more the merrier. But the way we do it, before we move on to the next one, we make sure that the original is standing on solid ground.
100%, definitely. Like you were saying that how Baruch Hashem things are going very well, but I love to quote our Rosh Hashivas, that's our blessed memory of Aaron Walken. It's just the beginning. He would always say that we would reach a milestone, we would be successful in doing X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever it may be. He would always tell me it's just the beginning, and Baruch Hashem, I really feel that way. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, I'll be betrothed to you forever. We're in the beginning stage. It's a beautiful stage.
Baruch Hashem, Chazdei Hashem. So, Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac, if there would be one message that you could tell to our broad audience, a final message, a takeaway, what would that message be?
The message would be, don't ever accept status quo.
Don't be satisfied.
It's more than that. It's, when I moved to the Five Towns, for example, I could have easily said to myself, they have a way of doing things. This is the way it's done. And who am I? And just, put my head down and Shalom Al Yisrael. But I saw that in my new community, there was certain things lacking, certain things that maybe I missed from back home, from back in Queens.
Right.
And, I decided, to make my contribution. And I would say to you, it was a game changer. Like in my shul alone, I think for 2 years straight, I had a monthly shiur for ladies by ladies.
Yeah,
Chazaq definitely helped me implement that.
That's right. Yeah,
and
all the renowned speakers and guest speakers, it was happening. Yeah, for sure. It was Shara Emunah.
Right.
5 Towns.
Right, and then that itself led to growth in terms of we started bringing in major rabbis to do speeches for a co-ed crowd, and I think it spurred a lot of action in the community itself. A lot of people started taking initiative, and a lot of different programs started popping up. And I mean, Shari even before I came was a happening place.
Right, but even more so.
But today, it's very, very different. And in general, many people moved to the Five Towns over the last 5 years, especially since COVID, and it just created this energy of like, again, don't accept the status quo. Like all of a sudden, a lot of people just came in and started adding and doing and creating. So I would say to anybody listening that don't just look at, let's say, for example, Chazaq and say, oh, this organization, they got it all covered. People come to myself, and I know to you as well, all the time with ideas. And you'd be surprised, but many times over, I'll tell the person, this is a phenomenal idea, and I think you should run with it. And I'm gonna help you as much as I possibly can. And they kind of look at me like, what? They weren't expecting that. And I say, yeah, look, certain things I believe would go really well under the Chazaq umbrella. But certain things I think should be its own standalone. Like if somebody has an idea about how to deal with the Yitomim, orphans, or almanot, widows, it's a beautiful thing. Klal Yisrael could definitely use such an idea, especially in the Queens area. In Brooklyn and Lakewood, these ideas are covered, so to speak. But in Queens, it's a little bit lacking. So I'll tell people, Hashem gave you this thought, and you have a passion for it. So run with it. It could be intimidating, obviously, and that's why I tell them, I'll help you as much as I can, through my friends and contacts. But again, if a person, has in his heart of hearts not to accept the status quo, and he wants to make his input and help help Klal Yisrael get to where we need to be, with Geula Shlema, you'll say, total and complete redemption. Then a lot more needs to be done.
100%. I always say that up until now, whatever was done, everything that's done, all the yeshivot and all the organizations and all the good work, it's great, but it's obviously not enough because the Geula hasn't come, the redemption hasn't come. That means we have to do more, and the more people we get involved, the better it is. And you have a stick, a pen. It's easy to break when it's one. When you bring 50, 100 together, it becomes stronger. Chazaq. That's what we're looking to B'ezrat Hashem do, to build an army for Hashem, to do more good B'ezrat Hashem. And you have a lot of credit to all this. As a chairman of the board, you've done so much, and you continue doing so much. We are forever grateful. Hashem should bless you and your entire mishpacha family.
Hashem should bless you. Thank you for having me.
Agdid Torah v'yadir B'ezrat Hashem.
Really is a chut.
And we want to thank everyone. Chazaq's Tuesday Torah Talks, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, chazaq.org /live, chazaq.org/live. Also, special thanks to our friends and partners at Torah Anytime for hosting this podcast and all the different podcast players. We get tremendous feedback from Torah Talks, and we're looking to B'ezrat Hashem expand and to do more. Please reach out, please get involved, and a special shout out to our friends at Daily Giving. $1 a day goes a very far way. And all the staff members and board members and volunteers and dedicated, everyone, every single person, all the donors, we're forever grateful. We shall only hear Besorot Tovat, only goodness. Yishkach, Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac.
God bless you. Thank you.